What is going on, everybody? Steve here with Raiken Profit. Really excited to be on a live show with my main man, Marcus, from the Dumpster Marcus YouTube channel. And we've got a whole array of things that we're going to be talking about today. But real quick, before we dive into the show, I want to introduce Marcus to all of you. And maybe, Marcus, you can say hello to everybody and kind of give them a brief overview of who you are, what you do, and maybe a little bit about your background story.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dumpster Marcus. I have a YouTube channel called Dumpster Marcus. I usually put there informational videos on scrapping, dumpster diving. I do in the summer have live yard sailing for video games because I collect video games, so a lot of people do like that. But I try to just do informational videos about how to make money from trash.
That's awesome, man. And how long have you been running your YouTube channel, Dumpster Marcus? How long have you been posting videos?
This year, we're going on 5 years now.
Wow.
I've been posting. 5
years. You've been in the game for a while, man.
Yeah, that's how long I've been scrapping, too.
Yeah, and this guy's a really good guy, man. Like, he's really positive. I really like that about him. You're very optimistic about everything. You're also a vegan, which... let's be honest, guys, that connected me big time. When I heard that, I was like, man, I like this guy already. And you're always just giving and helping people out. So just really grateful to have you here, Marcus. And again, guys, if you want to follow him, check him out on YouTube at Dumpster Marcus. Do you have any other platforms people can follow you?
I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, and Beam, all just Dumpster Marcus.
All over the place. That's awesome. So real quick, before we jump into kind of like the show overview in terms of what you can expect to learn and whatnot, I want to shout some people out in the comments section. We've got Cody Orgel. We got Australia in the house. Good to see you, Cody, Green Room member. We got Hot Halloween Props in the house. Thanks for coming. Total Hustle. We got Black and Gold. We got Tom Lichano, I believe. I'm really bad at pronouncing names, but yeah, we got some people in the comments section. So if you guys are watching right now from your desktop, I'm not sure if you can do it on your phone. Be sure to check out the comments section. I think it's on your right-hand side of the screen, so you can leave a comment, ask a question. We're going to definitely get into the comment section and answer some questions and shout some people out. But yeah, in terms of what you can expect to learn today, Marcus and I, we're going to be covering Marcus's business. One part of his business as well kind of two parts of his business. That's dumpster diving and that's scrapping. I believe it's called scrapping. So we're gonna define exactly what it is: dumpster diving, scrapping. We're gonna talk about the legality of it. Can you get in trouble? Because I know a lot of people are always concerned, can I just jump into any dumpster and source products? We're gonna talk about what the best places are to be able to go sourcing, whether it's dumpster diving or scrapping. I'm not really sure. This is going to be very educational for myself as well. We're going to touch on cleaning and prepping items once you come across these items. And lastly, we're going to talk about the platforms that Marcus utilizes to be able to sell these products. So without further ado, let's dive into the meat and potatoes of the show. And let's just define, Marcus, what exactly is dumpster diving for anybody who's like, what in the world are these guys talking about?
Well, I say dumpster diving and trash picking as two different things. Dumpster diving, I say, is going to a store dumpster like Walmart or Target and going behind the store and jumping in the dumpster. And then I say trash picking is going to people's personal houses and going through their trash. So that's what I do on my YouTube channel: trash picking and dumpster diving.
Okay, and I know you do scrapping as well. We might as well get all these definitions out of the way first, because I'm not even entirely sure what scrapping means. I kind of have an idea. So you define dumpster diving, but what's scrapping?
Scrapping is just getting metal, electronics, computers, anything that's made of metal or has like a motherboard in it, which like any TV, laptops, computers have. And there's scrap yards in your area, and you just bring the stuff to them, and they'll pay you by the pound for it.
Okay, so when you're talking about dumpster diving, like you said, you're either talking about jumping into like the dumpsters behind the stores and stuff, the retail stores, and then the trash picking, that's kind of just going through garbages and just whether it's at a personal place or a company or whatnot. The scrapping, where are you only going to like the scrap yards or like the places where, like what exactly is a scrapyard?
Scrapyard is just like a junkyard that you go in. They'll weigh your truck when you go in, and then you'll dump all your scrap, and then they'll weigh your truck as you go out, and then whatever amount of weight you are, they'll pay you by the pound. And like different materials go for different prices. Like copper, you separate with aluminum, or just regular metal, like a refrigerator. Like in my town right now, refrigerator will get 5 cents a pound. So a refrigerator weighs like 300 pounds. You get like $5 to $10 depending on like how much it weighs. And like computers, like everything, if you separate it out, the more money you get when you separate it.
Okay. Okay, I see what you're saying. So I'm curious. I just got to ask this question, man, because I know there's a lot of people listening who are like, why do it? Why source from dumpsters? Why go trash picking? You know, why scrap and all that stuff when you can do, you know, and these are people who are going to be watching my channel, so they're going to be thinking this, why don't you just, you know, do retail arbitrage or thrift stores? Why focus on dumpster diving and scrapping and all that stuff over pawn shops or other things like that? What attracts you to this business? Is there a ton of money to be made? Is it the adventure? Do you just enjoy going through the trash? I know that sounds really bad, but I'm sure I've done it before. It's actually exhilarating to an extent. So why do you actually do it, Marcus?
Yeah, I remember you got that bike when you were looking. You got that silver bike.
Yep.
Some of this garbage.
Yep.
Well, first of all, it's 100% free profit. So it's 100% profit, whatever you sell. And I first got into dumpster diving. My uncle has a big garage, and he has a wooden stove in there. So he said he needs pallets to have starter wood. So I'm like, oh, I know exactly where there's a store that has pallets. I drive by it. So I was getting pallets from the store, and I seen the dumpster had like a bunch of boxes hanging out of it. And I'm like, well, I wonder what's in the boxes. So I walked over to the dumpster. I looked in there, and there was brand new shoes, like Christmas lights. Like the whole dumpster was filled with stuff with tags on it. And I was like, why would they throw this stuff away? And I was like, if this store does it, do other stores do it? And that's when I got going to other stores and like Walmart, Target, Michael's, GameStop. And like, I'm getting these huge hauls of stuff. They just throw it away with the price tag still on it. Wow. And I was like, oh, this is pretty awesome.
So do you find that like for example, like a lot of times if I go to like a Target and they're clearancing out a specific toy, or I remember recently Target was clearancing out all their video games like for ridiculous prices, and people made a killing. Probably watched, I don't know if you follow Glenn Zubia on YouTube, yep. Hustler Hacks, but he documented it. And I mean, he sold hundreds, if not thousands of dollars worth of video games. And what I'm trying to say is one Target clearanced it out. They do it nationwide. Do you find that to be the case with the dumpsters at these big kind of corporate places, the Michaels, the Walmarts, the Targets? Do you find that they all do it? And if they, maybe you could give some examples of some cool things that you found to really make it real for the people that are listening.
Well, some dumpsters they're compactors. So you have to throw the garbage from inside of the store into the garbage disposal, and it compacts it. So those kind of dumpsters you can't go in because you have to be inside the building. But other buildings just have a regular old dumpster in the back that you could just open up and go in, which probably the biggest haul I ever got was from Michael's. Usually Michael's, any holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, any kind of holiday,
yep.
Their items that don't sell, they'll put 50% off, 75% off. And then after that, they chuck everything in the garbage.
Wow.
And it was like fall. I got like I think it was like 15 or 16 big, huge boxes filled of all miscellaneous items. And I think I had a yard sale and just sold all that stuff. And I sold stuff on eBay too. They had like Martha Stewart. They had like all kinds of glitters and stamps. And I sold all that stuff on eBay for like $20 to $30 a piece. And they just threw in the dumpster. And all the stuff I had in my yard sale that's like not worth that much to sell on eBay, I'll just put in my yard sale. And I think any yard sale I had, I didn't make under $250.
So for everyone listening right now, if your wheels are turning, if you're getting ideas, I want you to hit the like button right now, because my wheels are turning right now. I'm strategizing. I'm thinking already, this is what's going on in my mind. I'm like, I want to go to these stores and say, hey, if you don't sell these items, I'm not trying to hurt your business, but if you don't sell these items, call me up and I will pick them up. Have you ever tried doing that where maybe you approached a manager at, you know, whether it's Michael's or Marshall's or whatever, wherever you're going, and said, hey, listen, I've seen, I don't know if you want to say this or not, so correct me if I'm wrong in terms of, you probably shouldn't say it, but hey, I've been through your dumpster and you've got a lot of great stuff. How about next time, instead of throwing it all away, to give me a call? Have you ever thought of that? Or would you rather just go behind the scenes like a little raccoon and sneak it and sneak it into your car?
Well, actually, I did talk to a lot of my store managers in my area. I told them that I'm a recycler and I scrap like metal or any types of furniture, anything like that, or appliances. And a lot of the companies do call me, and they have, you know, they'll have old computers. They upgrade their computer system. They call me. Or Best Buy, they take their washers and dryers that they deliver. They'll take the ones back, and if the company doesn't pick them up from their location, they'll call me and say, hey, I have 2 washers in the back. Could you come pick them up?
Oh, that's great.
And a washer, dryer, like I'll get $5 to $10 a piece. So there's like $50 right there. Just all the stores in my area, I go dumpster diving in. I go to about 19 to 20 dumpsters each night, and I only drive 1.2 miles.
Are you going tonight?
I go dumpster diving every night.
Oh, wow. That's so what's like, give me an example of like a good haul. Like, give me an example. If you went out for tonight, I want to know how long you're going to go out for typically. I know it's a short route. What would be a good night? Like if you got home after hitting your 19 places, you'd be like, I did a good job. Like, I'm really happy. Like what expectations do you have, like in terms of doing it? Or is it so different all the time?
It's mostly different every night. A lot of people say, oh, you only go once a week or twice a week, but you have to be persistent and go every night, because say you go on Thursday and Monday they throw a whole bunch of good stuff in the dumpster, but then Tuesday, Wednesday, they throw just garbage on top of it.
Oh.
And then you look in the dumpster, they're like, oh, there's nothing in there. And then there's like a whole bunch of nice stuff on the bottom. So like I think in my brain, like, oh, if I don't go tonight, what am I going to miss? You know? Like,
so you're more worried about like the trash getting thrown on top of it, because it's just going to make more work for you to be able to get to the good stuff. Plus it may get damaged, right? If they're throwing a lot of stuff on it. My question is, you know, when I'm at thrift stores or retail stores or not really pawn shops, but especially thrift stores, I'm always kind of on the lookout for the competition. I can't help it. I'm always like, is that a reseller? Do you find yourself running into competition in your area?
In my area, I know people by their trucks. Like I'm not a person to stop and talk to them and say, oh, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
I see someone at a dumpster, then I'll just drive by and don't bother them, because if it was me, I wouldn't want someone to be coming in the dumpster and be like, hey, what are you getting? What's this? So I'll just drive by. But there's probably around 10 or 12 different people that I see almost every other night.
Wow. That's cool. We got people in the comments right now. Deborah says our Target compacts their dumpster. So I guess that's like a dumpster diver's worst nightmare, seeing that compactor there, right?
The compactor is like the worst because you can't get in it. And then some of the dumpsters, like the lids like flap open, and some of them have like a lock, and then you can't flap them open, and they're the worst too, because you know there's something in there, you just can't get to it.
We've got Holly Wagner in the house, and quick story: we had a meetup in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with Dave Kozil. We had a meetup over at a little grocery store area, and we all kind of had dinner and we're hanging out. And actually, Resell Rabbit ended up surprising us and met up over there. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the vlog video that I shot, but all of a sudden, Holly pulls up. She's in the comments right now. Holly pulls up with like this boss truck, like it's a monster like van truck. Like you could fit like the whole entire green room in this thing. Like you could fit like 30 people. And she's like, we're going dumpster diving. And I'm like, what in the world is dumpster diving? We went down the street and they were popping left and right. The Rabbit, he popped on like all this Star Wars stuff. So I've seen it done firsthand. I didn't think it was possible. But really, really cool right there. We got Jenny Stevens in the house saying, great hangout. Thanks for sharing. Claudio, I believe that's the name. Hello from Canada. There's a lot of people in the comment section asking about the legality of this whole thing. So let's get into that. Let's talk about, is it legal to go dumpster diving? Does it vary from state to state? What's the worst thing that could happen? Let's kind of jump into that. Maybe you can give a little rundown, Marcus.
Well, it all depends. It actually goes by town, not state. And that's
Okay.
what a lot of people don't know, because they'll check their state laws, and some town was in the state laws and it says, oh, it's legal. So they'll automatically, oh, it's legal in my town, but it goes by town, not state. So the best thing to do is, if you're a borough of your town, or if your town has like an official website, go into the borough or town website. It's usually under municipal waste, or
Municipal waste, okay.
or trash, or it'll be under like trash pickup or anything, and it will say, like my town says, personal trash, like someone's personal house. If it's on the curb for garbage day, it's legal to go in. But if it's on their personal property, like by their porch or just sitting by like in their yard, you can't go in the yard. It's like stealing. And
Okay.
it says for commercial, which is, Walmart, Target, all those, it says as long as the dumpster is just in the back, if it's locked, it has a no trespassing sign, or I don't know if you ever seen dumpsters that have like a fenced in area around the dumpster.
Yeah.
If it's fenced in, even though if the gate isn't locked, it's considered trespassing. And if there's a no trespassing sign on the building, anywhere on the building in the back, then that would be illegal. But if there's no trespassing signs, it's just a regular old dumpster in the back, it's not locked, then it's perfectly legal if it's legal in your town.
So for everybody listening, if you didn't catch that, be sure to log into, I'm sure you can do it online, and you kind of just maybe go to like your town website and you go to the municipal waste section where it talks about that. You want to make sure that you're allowed to go onto the property and pick through on commercial or on residential as well. So make sure you do that. That's really good to know. Have you ever had any run-ins with police in your
I've been dumpster diving for this year, it'd be 5 years. And I think like 6 times I got stopped by the cops. And they were always nice to me. They're like, what are you doing back here? I'm like, oh, I'm dumpster diving. They're like, for what? I'm like, oh, I get metal and I recycle it to get money for it. They're like, oh, we just wanted to make sure you're not vandalizing anything. They check my ID, make sure I have nothing, no warrants or anything. And they're like, all right, hope you find something good.
Oh, cool.
And then after, like, they see me a lot, they just drive by and wave.
They see your truck. Don't you? I think I saw on your Facebook. Don't you have like your company name and everything on your truck as well?
Yeah, my whole tailgate's wrapped, and it says Dumpster Markets Recycling, and it says a whole bunch of products that I take, and it says call or text, and my number's on there.
Wow, that's a really interesting topic to jump into right now. And if any of you guys have any more questions in regards to your state laws or your town laws or anything like that, or any fears of doing this, you don't want to get in trouble, leave a comment. We'll be sure to check that out. But do you find that converts well, having your truck wrapped with your company name and what you buy and stuff? Do you find yourself getting a lot of phone calls from that?
I get so many phone calls, like even in the summer. Like the winter, it's really slow. I get like 1 call a week. But in the summer, I usually get like 2 calls a day.
Really?
Back in my truck. They're like, oh, I was just behind you, and I was wondering if you'd take a grill. And I was like, yeah, I take anything made of metal. And they're like, oh, you do free pickup too, it says. I said, yeah, I do free pickup as long as it's like in my area. I'm not driving an hour to go pick up a refrigerator.
I was going to ask you that. What's your time worth? Are you going to drive 3 or 4 miles over to pick up a grill? What's a grill even worth?
It depends on if it's an older grill. They're made of cast aluminum, and cast aluminum is pretty high. I made a video about it a while ago. I scrapped 5 grills, and I made $58 for 5 grills. So it's definitely worth it. A lot of people say, oh, is it worth going to the trash? Oh, that's disgusting. It's not worth it for me. But for me, I enjoy it. Say I do work a 40-hour job. So when I am driving to work, if it's garbage day and I see a refrigerator or stove, I'll stop and throw it in the back of my truck, and there's an easy $5-10. And I just love doing it. free money just sitting on the side. People look on the side of the road and say, look at all that garbage. And I say, look at all that money just sitting there.
Do you think if people want to get started doing this, would you suggest getting started with a little like Hyundai Sonata or a little Toyota Corolla, or do you need a truck? Obviously for the washers, dryers, refrigerators, stuff like that. Is the money in the bigger items?
Actually, the money is probably in the smaller items like electronics and computers and stuff. The bigger items, it's money, but sometimes it's not worth the hassle. And I actually have a series on my YouTube channel. It's called Scrappin' 101. I'm still putting out videos, and most of the videos in the beginning are things that you could scrap if you have a car. Like,
interesting.
Like copper wires. If you see a vacuum cleaner, you stop and cut the copper wire. And copper wire, last year it was close to $1 a pound, but right now in my area it's 56 cents a pound. And I weighed it out, and if you get 5 vacuum cleaners, you just cut the cord out the vacuum cleaners. I think it was, how much did you make? I think it was like $15 or 10, $15.
Yeah.
Just for the copper wires.
If you're there already, why not? And then you don't have to go over to the scrapping metal place. Maybe you just save all your stuff up for a month, right? And then you go.
That's what I usually do.
Yeah. I know a lot of people who are watching right now are night owls. I don't know what it is about the reselling community, but we like to stay up late and we like to hustle. We like to hustle for long hours. So I know a lot of the hustlers, they get depressed because the pawn shops are closing at 5 or 6. The stores are closing at 9 or 10. Sometimes the Walmart's at midnight. I know I was hanging out with Jameson Philippi of the Green Room and Resell Rabbit. These freaking hustlers, these freaks of nature. No, I'm just kidding. These hustlers are going at it all hours of the night. And if we only knew that there was money to be made, I bet you we would have gone dumpster diving. So for the people out there who are night owls, you like to stay up late, this is something cool, right? Where you can go and you could actually make some money.
And I believe the best time to go is at night, because even if it is legal in your town, say a store manager or an employee goes outside to throw something in the dumpster and you're digging through their dumpster, they could say, we don't want you here. And they can call the cops on you. And even if it's legal in your town and they call the cops on you, you could still get in trouble because they don't want you in there.
Got it.
So that's why I go in at night, because I go at night and the cops are like, so a couple times the cops said, oh, well, I know the store manager and they said they don't want anybody here. And I say, well, you can't do anything unless the store manager calls the cops on me, because in this town, it's legal to dumpster dive. And I usually keep the paper in my truck that I printed out saying that it's legal in your town. Like from the website you go into, make sure you print it out and you could show the cops, say, this is the town rules and it's legal to dumpster dive. And they're always like, okay. And they usually leave them alone.
That's a really good tip. Somebody asked in the comments section, can you support yourself doing this? Now, I know this is somewhat of a broad statement, right? If you're a single guy and you're living at home with your parents or whatever, versus someone who's got, a family and a wife and, lots of bills and stuff. So this is a broad question, but maybe set the expectations. You don't need to say how much you make, because that doesn't really concern anybody. But can people make good income doing this if they had a truck and they've got their route? Or is this something where you're only looking at making a couple $100 per month?
Well, in the summer, the winter is slow because a lot of people aren't throwing stuff away or cleaning their house. But in the winter, or in the summer, sometimes I make close to $500 a week.
Wow. And that's just going for like, how much time are you spending?
And that's just going to work or coming home from work and seeing stuff on the side of the road and going out dumpster diving at night. It depends. If I only find like 1 or 2 things, I'm out for a half hour, but sometimes I'm out for an hour and a half and taking 2 or 3 trips back to my house because my truck is too filled to just take everything in one shot.
So this should really prove to everybody, guys, there's no excuse out there if you want to be able to save up for a vacation or be able to save up some money to pay for your kids' education, or maybe you've, gotten into credit card debt over the years, which happens, and you're trying to pay it off, but maybe you're stuck in a job, or maybe your eBay is only at a certain level. This is a way. This is why I wanted Marcus to come on, because he's making money in a way that's unorthodox. It's not normal. And he's not coming on saying you can make millions of dollars. He literally just said there's times you can make an extra $500 per week, during the summer. Now, granted, he's been doing this for a while. He's got his route. He knows what he's doing. But I think it's fair to say even someone brand new, Marcus, could watch some of your videos on the Dumpster Marcus YouTube channel, or just watch this, visit Michael's, visit Walmart. Of course, check your local town to make sure it's legal. But you could go in and you could make a few extra bucks.
Yeah, say if you're driving on the road and you see maybe someone moving and they have a whole bunch of garbage outside or a dumpster, just knock on their door and say, hey, are you throwing anything away that's good? I think my best haul came from someone's personal trash. I was driving by, I seen a whole bunch of stuff outside. I stopped. I found a center surround sound speaker, a Bose center surround sound speaker. I bring it home. I have a surround sound. I hooked it up. Everything worked good. I sold the speaker for $259.95.
That's awesome.
That was just from the garbage.
I forgot what bike I picked up, but I know I've picked up one bike that I got out of the garbage. It wasn't really in the garbage, but it was just sitting on the side of the road, locked up. No, I'm just kidding. It was sitting on the side of the road next to the trash. But it was a GT, kind of like a hybrid bicycle that we sold for like $150. I've also picked up bike racks. I don't know if you ever see bike racks, but I've seen quite a few of them in the trash. Only one of them worked. But there's money to be made out there. It's really amazing. Kind of moving forward, I know we've touched on this a little bit, but for someone out there brand spanking new, they're getting excited. They're like, I'm going out tonight. I'm going to go make it happen. Best stores to go look for right now. Top 3 stores that everybody would, if you live in an area where there's a good amount of people, a store maybe that anybody could go to and maybe find something.
Probably Michael's is a top store. 100%. Most of the time, you're going to find something there every night.
What about GameStop? I've heard a lot of good things about GameStop.
I love going to GameStop. Well, it depends on what you like, if you like video games or not. But I love going to GameStop. They throw away games, limited edition, just boxes. Say they get a game in, and they have the limited edition box. Sometimes they throw it away. And I sold boxes, just empty boxes on eBay for $20, $30, $40.
So we're talking Michael's, we're talking GameStop, Walmart or Target, if someone had to choose one.
I think most Walmarts have compactors, but my Target has a compactor too, so I can't go to any of them. But
okay.
I always tell people, they always ask, oh, what's the best store to go to? What's the best time to go to? Well, the best time or the best store is whatever store you're near. If you're going to Walmart to go get some food or something, run back to the dumpster real quick and see if you can even go back there or if you could get anything. If it's day or night, if I'm there, I'll go. But I really prefer to go at night because I would hate to get caught and say, oh, you can't be here anymore, and then get in trouble for it. But if I'm there, I'm going to the dumpster no matter what.
Okay. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about something really important. Let's talk about safety. What tips would you have for somebody in terms of safety? Maybe, is there anything really, really dangerous to be on the lookout for? Obviously, one thing that comes to my mind is you probably want to wear gloves because there may be glass and stuff. But is there anything really, really like, can you get killed doing this? Like, if you mistaken like a compactor or something, like, I don't know anything. Like, I'm like a 3-year-old asking this question, but is there any dangers?
Not really. Unless you're going into say you can't really get into a compactor, but say you're trying to break into a dumpster, then you can get hurt or something. But especially Michael's, be careful because Michael's, they have their own picture frame area in the back of the store. So they cut glass for you. They can make your own frames at Michael's. And a lot of times they break the glass and they throw it in the dumpster. So that's one dumpster you really got to be careful going to because they have a lot of just broken glass in it. So I would say wear gloves. There's a little LED headlamp that you could put. It's like a flashlight that goes on your hat. They sell them at Harbor Freight or Lowe's. They have a couple bucks. And then it's hands-free, so you don't have to be holding a flashlight or anything.
What about pants or shirts? Do you wear a long sleeve or maybe some work pants or anything like that?
No, I just usually, don't go in flip-flops or anything, but go with shoes. In the summer, I just have shorts and a T-shirt on, but you just have to be careful jumping in and out of the dumpster if you don't because that's what some of the stores are afraid of. Like, if you get hurt in their dumpster, you're going to try to sue them. And
yeah, I could definitely understand that. We got a question coming from Cody. I'm not sure if you already touched on this, Marcus, but the question is, what is the most expensive individual item you have ever picked up? I was watching a video of someone who found a MacBook in the dumpster. Is there anything maybe that comes to your mind in terms of like your best, most expensive, or something just really valuable that's really cool?
just that Bose speaker, that center speaker I sold for
Yeah.
$260. That was probably the most expensive item I sold. I think Harbor Freight. I have a YouTube videos I do are Tool Tuesday, and I go to this store. It's called Harbor Freight, and they throw a bunch of like tools away, and I go in there and videotape me actually live in the dumpsters, seeing what's in there. And the best thing I found from there was an engine jack that like it's a huge jack, and you could take the engine of your car out. And they threw it away because the wheel was broken. The little cast iron wheel, it's about this big, and it was broken. And they threw the whole jack away. And that thing weighed like 300 pounds. But I got it out by myself because I go dumpster diving by myself. And I waited like a month. I found another jack in the dumpster that was even more broken. And I took that and I switched the wheels out and I sold it on Craigslist for $75.
That's nice, and that's being creative and being patient. I really like that. So far we've discussed kind of like what dumpster diving is. We really haven't talked much about scrapping, which we will talk about in a little while. We talked about the whole legality and what to be on the lookout for in terms of your town, of the laws and stuff like that. We touched on the best places to source, best items you found. Let's talk about this stage of the game. You found your item, you went dumpster diving, you found a bunch of items. I don't know if it's electronic or whatever it is you're finding. And now you're getting ready to sell it. But first, like, let's talk about cleaning and prep. So let's talk maybe prep in terms of like scrapping. Maybe you find a grill or a refrigerator. Let's talk more about the scrapping now before you bring it to the scrapyard to exchange it for some currency. What do you have to do to clean and prep and stuff like that in terms of the scrapping?
Well, scrapping, if it's 90% metal, they'll take it. So say if it's a table, it's a huge metal table with like a little wooden top. They'll take it as long as it's 90% metal. They'll take it with the wooden top. But if you're getting into like grills, or if it's a refrigerator, I would just scrap the refrigerator whole. But if it's like a washing machine or dryer, I usually take the panels off. I take all the copper wires out. And there's a copper bearing motor in there that makes it work. I usually take that out. And grills, the older grills are cast aluminum. The way to test them is get a magnet. If the magnet sticks to the actual grill part that you open up to cook, and then if it sticks, it's metal, and then it's just worth just scrap metal price. But if it doesn't stick, it's cast aluminum, and cast aluminum is kind of expensive. So definitely you take the top and the bottom part off the grill, and I usually save it till I get a couple, and then I'll take it to the scrapyard.
Right.
But
so I'm sorry to interrupt you, but once you get all this stuff, where are you storing it? Are you throwing it in? I kind of know this because I've seen a video, but where do you store it all before you bring it all down?
I have a little area behind my garage. I have fenced in for my daughter can't get in there. And I just throw everything in a huge pile. Or right now, during the winter, I just keep everything in my trailer. I have a trailer. And once the trailer gets kind of full, then I'll just run to the scrapyard. Because actually my scrapyard is 2.5 blocks away from my house. So
you're lucky. I always wondered how they did it. Like, so when you bring it to the scrapyard, they're going to pay you based on the different metal, right? Yes. So they're going to give you this much for the copper, this much for the aluminum, so on and so forth. So you got this whole trailer full of different metals, I'm assuming, right? How do you sort it all out and get paid? Like, how does it all work in terms of like, how do they weigh it? How do they sort it all out? How do you make sure you get paid the correct amount? Like, could you talk about that process?
Well, actually, a lot of the junkyards are really nice, and they'll even help you. You'd be like, oh, I have this piece of metal. I'm not really sure what it is. And they'll tell you what it is. And most junkyards, they have nice people working there, and they'll help you out if you're a first-time scrapper. You'd be like, oh, I have all this stuff. I'm not really sure what it is. And they'll say, okay, this is brass. This is aluminum. This is copper. And they'll try to teach you like for you to get the most money that you can. And I forgot what else I was gonna say.
Do they weigh it? Do you drive your truck over it and they weigh it that way, or is there like scales sitting around? Like, how do they separate it all?
Well, most of like the copper and the aluminum and stuff, there's like a separate building. Then you just drive over to the building and they'll separate everything out. They'll put it in their own buckets. They'll weigh them and then they'll pay you by that. But if you just have a truck filled of just scrap tin, which is just regular metal, then they'll weigh your whole truck. Then you'll just throw everything in a huge pile and they'll weigh your truck again and they'll pay you by the pound.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you need a license or any type of like registration or documentation to walk into one of these scrap yards?
They usually take your ID if you're bringing like, say I'm bringing in rims or something like that. They usually take your ID because say if they find out the rims are stolen, then they can know where they came from.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, they usually don't really do anything to you. They just, oh, what do you have? You have, oh, I have this. Okay. And they give you your ticket and you bring the ticket to the guy and he pays you.
That's really cool. Now, are you going weekly or like monthly, or how often do you find yourself going over to the scrapyard?
Well, it depends. I scrap a lot of electronics and I do computers and I get like the motherboard. I take the whole computer apart. So that stuff I usually wait like a month or 2 months. But usually I go to the junkyard once a week, or if I have bigger loads, twice a week. But most of my electronic scrap, I wait, and then I'll get like usually a month or 2 months, and I'll go to the scrapyard.
Where are you finding?
Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna ask you, where are you finding all the computers and stuff?
Actually, I just go to every store around my area. There's little like mom and pop's computer stores that say, you know, I'll fix and repair your computer. And I'll just go there and be like, hey, I own a recycling business and, you know, I take computers and everything for free. And my best computer place is the guy seen the back of my truck, and he's the main electronic guy for every bank in my area.
Wow.
And he's like, oh, we used to go with a company and we used to have to pay them to come pick everything up. And we see that you take everything free. Is that true? And I was like, I take everything for free and I pick up anytime you want. So that right there, I get so much money from this guy. He gives me so much stuff and it's ridiculous. And I just love it. He calls me, he's like, oh, I have all this trash. And I go down there and I'm selling it for like thousands of dollars. And he's like, they just think it's garbage. You're like, what do you do with all this stuff? I'm like, oh, you know, I scrap it out and I take it to the junkyard. And they're just thinking I'm getting like no money at all for it. And I'm getting like hundreds of dollars.
Any tips for building relationships with these folks who you're sourcing stuff from? I mean, any tips for how to, you know, acquire people like this? I know you had the sign on your truck, but do you do anything special to make sure they continue to call you back?
Every time they call, like I have their number saved, I make sure I answer it right then and there. And I try to get down there that same day. And that's why actually a lot of people say, oh, I love how you come the same day. We used to have other people that come pick up stuff and we call them and it'll take 2-3 days to come down, or they won't answer the phone. And we love how we call you and you're there. And everywhere I go, I always pass out my business cards. Say if I'm going to the grocery store to pick up some food, I have a bunch of business cards and I'll stick them in the first 2 or 3 cars that are parked next to me. I'll put them in their windows. And a couple people call and be like, oh, I got your business card on my car when I was at Walmart. Do you take metal shelves? I'll be like, yes, I take shelves. They're like, oh, I have a bunch of stuff. You can come down and look. And that's usually where I get most of my people from.
Sure. That's awesome, man. I used to do that way back in the day when I was a bird dog and I was doing some real estate for some guys. We used to implement a few techniques. We used to take flyers and put them into the cars and the windshields and stuff. But what worked best for us, and it actually inspired me to do this for my bicycle business when I first started in business with Craigslist and selling bikes, we would take a bunch of bandit signs, which you could get online, I believe, like banditsigns.com. You get them for about $1 each. A lot of them are on sale. You could get them for like $1, $1.25 each. And you take the bandit signs and you could say, we scrap metal, or we whatever. I don't know what your catchphrase would be, but you go up to the poles and you nail them up. Have you ever tried doing that?
No, I never put anything on polls.
I'm telling you, I used to get so many calls from that
Really?
for bicycles, and there's so many more people who'd want to get rid of their junk. I would try that out. I'm telling you right now, man, you will not believe how many people will call you.
I just have flyers, like I have like a full page flyer, and I tried to put down like almost everything that I take, like pots and pans, silverware, like everything from appliances to even like forks and knives. And I have my number and everything. And usually when I take my daughter for like a bicycle ride, I'll just roll them up and put them in people's railings for their houses. And I got a lot of calls from that too. Like I'll go to the town next to me and I'll just take my daughter for a bike ride and I'll stop at almost every house and put my flyer in there.
I wonder if Facebook ads would work. That's a really big thing with local businesses now. A lot of them are getting a ton of traffic. I have a buddy, he runs 3 gyms in my area. 90% of all of his new customers are coming from Facebook ads targeted at people in his town or the town over. And you can get it done cheap. I saw you kind of getting excited about that.
I usually put ads on Craigslist under the free section or labor. And I put ads on like Facebook page, like the free Facebook page ads or, wanted. I'll put stuff. But a lot of the times in the Facebook ads, I'll put, I'm taking free recycling and I take this and this and this. And a lot of times someone would comment and say, oh, I have a refrigerator. Would you take it? And then almost 90% of the time, someone else comments under that. I could be there in 5 minutes. Where do you live? So I'm like, so it really
that's
sucks
cool.
with that.
One cool thing you could do is you could create a Facebook page called like Dumpster, Marcus's Recycling, or I don't know what it would be called. And then you could run something that's called a dark post ad, which means you can create an ad that won't show up on your page. It'll only show up in people's feeds that match a certain criteria. So let's just say you lived in Manchester, Connecticut, where I live in this area. You can run an ad that will only show up in people's feeds that live in Manchester, Connecticut that fit a certain criteria, a certain age, maybe they've just went through a foreclosure or something. You can match it up and it'll only show up in their feed. So might work for someone like you. I guarantee nobody's doing that. But anyways, moving forward, what are the main platforms you're using to sell stuff? I know you talked about obviously getting rid of the metal at the scrap yards. You talked about Craigslist. Do you do any eBay, Amazon, Etsy, any other platforms?
I do have an Etsy account, and I'm starting to make stuff from scrap or garbage that I find, and I make it into another item, or if I find clothing, I make, say, a cool T-shirt. I'll cut it up and make it into a pillow. If it doesn't like sell good,
awesome. Yeah.
Like say if the shirt only sells for $9.99, I'll cut it up and make it into a pillow and sell it for $24.99.
Wow.
So I'm trying to make more money than what I could from a product. And I sell on eBay too. The most I sell on eBay is vintage computer parts. Like I get computers from the stores, my computer people I call, and that's where I get my most money. If you just scrap a computer, say you take a computer apart, just like the computer tower you have at your house, if you take it apart and take everything to the recycling center, you'll make $8 to $10 a computer. And if you take it apart and sell the parts, you have to make sure they work. I can make close to $100 a computer.
Wow.
It depends. And that's
really cool.
Understand.
So you've got that specialized knowledge. You know exactly what parts in that computer are worth money.
Yeah, you just have, actually, it's really easy. I'm actually doing like a lot of people are asking me to do a YouTube video on how do I list stuff on eBay or how do I know what to find. And it's just really, say you open up a vintage computer and you just look at the parts and most parts have serial numbers or part numbers on it. And the brand who makes it, you just type in the brand, type in the model number, and it comes up. And you just see most of the stuff I like selling in lots because people that actually fix computers, they'll buy more stuff in lots than just one because the shipping will be a lot better. So usually I put like 5 or 6 items in one listing and then just to get rid of them quicker.
So when you get I hear you using the word quicker. So I'm assuming, are you more of like a fast nickel kind of guy, or are you more of like the slow dime? Do you like the slow dime approach when you're listing on like Craigslist or eBay? I mean, are you trying to just get rid of it as fast as possible to keep the money turning? Or would you rather sit an extra month or two to get that, top notch price? What's your
I,
business model in terms of that?
I'm the slow guy. I don't care. I showed my house in a couple YouTube videos, and people are like, "Wow, you have a lot of stuff in your house." I'm like, "Yeah, I scrap, and I
You
go
a scrapper.
dumpster diving. I get like 1 or 2 boxes a night, and that adds up quick when you don't have a ton of space." But yeah, I'll put it. I usually put my stuff for like $1 or $2 less than what people
Okay.
actually posted for. For if someone is looking for this specific item, they'll say, "Hey, his is $1 cheaper." But I don't care if it sits for 3 months, 4 months. Is as long as I get more money for it, then I just throw it away or scrap it.
Joe in the comments section says there are a lot of precious metals in computers if you want to really tear them down. The RAM has 24 karat gold. There are aluminum cooler blocks, etc.
Yeah, most computers have the RAM in it. It's a little chip about this big, and they have like gold teeth in the bottom. My scrapyard pays $13 a pound, so I think it's. I know I weighed it before. I think it's like close to like 30 or 20 to 30 rams for a pound. So
Okay.
you have to rip apart a bunch of computers to get a pound, and that's 13 bucks.
Okay.
But I like just getting rid of stuff quick. You can make 8 to 10 bucks a computer. But if you really want to make the money, which I do, is I usually just make sure everything works, test everything out, and then sell it on eBay, and that's where you'll make the big money.
Awesome, man. So we've got about 13 minutes left in the show, and it's been fun. I've been learning so much, man. Hopefully everyone watching has been learning a lot as well. It looks like we've got about 104 people watching. We've had about 100 people consistently watching the show. So really, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank everybody for watching the show. We are going to get into some Q&A right now for about the last 10 minutes and just kick back and answer some questions. But I do want to ask you guys right now, if you are enjoying this content, if you've had a lot of fun, if you've been learning from Marcus, please hit the like button. Only takes a second. Hit the like button, show some love. It lets us know that you enjoy this content, helps YouTube to know this is some good stuff, and they push it out to people and really just allows people to learn more. So make sure to take a second right now to hit the like button. We really, really appreciate that. But if you are on a desktop right now, I'm not sure if the comments section shows up on a live show on your cell phone, but if you do see the comments right now on the left side of your screen, let's open up the floor for some questions. We'll ask Marcus some rapid fire questions right now and see if we could stump him. See if we can get some awkward silence because he doesn't know the answer. No, I'm just kidding. But looks like I'm going to read through some of the comments. Picking for resale says, I would be afraid of someone sneaking up and closing the lid of the dumpster with you inside. You can get locked in.
I
Do you have
never
that
had a
fear?
problem with people. And
Do you have nightmares, Marcus? Do you wake up in a cold sweat?
no, the funniest part is when I was in a dumpster, I was searching through the dumpster looking for stuff, and I peeked my head out, and a cop was there with his lights on because he pulled someone over that was in the parking lot. And I was like looking in the dumpster. I'm like, oh, okay. So I just got out and just drove away. Anything.
That's awesome. So no worries, guys. You don't have to worry about someone closing the lid on you. Let's see. I saw another question about copper wire. Where did that go? Oh, yeah. Kansas Picker asks, when scrapping copper wire, do you have to strip them? I'm not really sure what that means. Do you understand the question?
Well, copper wire, like say a lamp that you plug into the outlet that has that like rubber coating over it for you don't see the copper wire. If you want to get more money, you could take that off and just have the copper wire. And my area, I think that's 56 cents for the insulated wire. You just cut it, and that's how much it is. And then if it's number one copper, I'm not sure. It's like $1.23, I think, a pound in my area. So if it's worth your time, yes. If you have nothing to do and you have a bunch of copper wire, I would say strip it because you're going to make a lot more money. But it depends on what you're stripping. If it's just a regular lamp that you plug into the wall, it's worth it to strip. But say it's for your washer or dryer, it's that big thick wire. I did tests, and it actually, you'll make more money not stripping it because that the copper weighs less than with the whole coating on it. So you'll make more money actually not stripping it.
That's really interesting. So sometimes when you see like new construction going up, commercial or even residential, sometimes they'll have like security there, or they'll fence it off. What is the metal that people are going after? Are they stripping? I've heard people stripping copper, but
yes.
when these criminals go in, what are they looking for? Is it just the copper?
Yeah, well, now copper is not as much as it used to be, but copper used to be really high, and that's what everybody was doing. They were stealing the copper piping that, like, for all the water pipes in your house, or stealing copper wire, and that's what everybody was stealing back then when it was really expensive.
All right. Guadalupe says it's actually illegal to be at a dumpster in an alley. What are your thoughts on that, Marcus? Is that true?
I never heard of that. I'm not. I don't have really that many alleys in my town, but
who has alleys anymore? Unless you're like in New York City, right?
I don't think I have like one or two alleys in my town. I think, but in my town it's legal.
Leave a comment. No. Okay, so yeah, it might be different. Again, I think it's like Marcus was saying, there's still people asking about, if it's legal or not. If an alley's legal or not, I don't know. But I think what you want to do is you want to log on to your town's website. I don't know if it's town hall or whatever, and check to see what the laws are in terms of picking from residential trash. Obviously, Marcus says don't go onto their property, but they'll let you know if you can pick from the trash that's like on the side of the road. And then you want to look to see what the laws are on the commercial side. So definitely be able to check. One thing that I really learned was it doesn't matter state to state. It's all about the town. So check out your laws for your town. See, I'm looking to see if there's any more comments. Any other tips that you have for people, Marcus, in terms of like maybe something we didn't cover in terms of like scrapping or dumpster diving?
When you're dumpster diving, here's a good tip: leave the place cleaner than when you got there. Say if there's a garbage bag that someone, even that worked there, tried to throw in the dumpster and it missed, clean it up, because if some people in my town leave the dumpsters messy. Staples, this one guy in a green truck, he used to always like rip through the bags and there'll be like trash on the floor and everything. And he was doing that for like weeks. And I used to, if I went after him, I would clean it up, because if you're a store manager, you go outside and there's garbage everywhere. You're thinking, what's going on? And about a month later, Staples locks their dumpster now, so you can't even get in it. So you have to be nice to the other people. Yeah.
Have respect, and don't destroy it. Don't destroy it, because in the end, like Marcus said, they are gonna change it up. They're a business, so definitely be respectful in that light. Somebody asked a question. I'm not sure what this means, but maybe you do. Timothy Grapp, I believe we got a green room member in the house. Question: Have you thought about getting a blowtorch and making prepared metal? I don't know what that means. Is that?
I'm thinking he thinks like you get copper or aluminum and you can melt it down into like a brick, or I'm thinking something like that. But I'm just going in it for just the money, not really long.
Sure. So it looks like those are most of the questions that are coming in. Real quick, I want to ask you, man, on a little more of a personal level, and this is kind of my own interest. You're vegan, man. How long you been vegan for? Because I've actually gone vegan about it's been 2 to 3 months now, and I'm feeling good, losing a lot of weight and just feeling amazing. Talk about that, man. Why are you vegan? Do you feel like it helps you in your business as well? Is it giving you more energy? What's the deal behind that?
This November 1st, I'll be 5 years vegan, and I actually didn't even know a vegan was. I got a juicer, and I'm like, oh, I need recipes. So I went on YouTube and clicked juicing recipes, And mostly everybody that juiced on YouTube was vegan. And I was like, well, what's vegan? So I looked it up and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I actually went raw vegan for my first year. And I think the heaviest I was 213. And not even in a year of being raw vegan, I went from 213 to 154. Like, that's no exercise, no nothing. I just did exactly the same thing that I did and just eat better. And I lost like 65 pounds. And then that was for about a year. And now I've been vegan for 3 years. And I used to have really bad acid reflux. I had like stomach pains all the time. I used to get headaches. And I just like never felt good. And I had to take medicine, like prescription grade medicine from my doctor just to feel good. And now I don't take anything. And it's just eating healthier. Just you would know, it gives you more energy. Just like I could eat a big meal that's vegan and be like, all right, let's go do something. And compared to eating a steak or ribs and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to move off the couch.
You're in a food coma. No, that's cool, man. I just want to shout you out on that fact because I'm going down that journey as well. So yeah, man, that's really cool. But anyways, guys, we're at about that time right now. I'm gonna just look through the comments real quick to just make sure I didn't miss any questions. We got about 2 more minutes. Looks like Biohazard Picker is in the house. What's going on, Adam? Good to see you. Corvey Day 65. I can't pronounce these names. Prepared iron is cut into specific lengths, like 2 feet long. Guadalupe says vegan is the way to go. Yes, it is. Let's see. Cody says it is a great lifestyle. People think they need to calorie restrict, but healthy food helps. I've been eating a ton of food lately and losing weight.
Do not calorie restrict if you're becoming vegan. A lot of people that become vegan or just want to try it, they'll like just eat a little fruit or eat an apple or eat this, and they'll be like, oh, I don't feel good. I don't have the energy. Like, I eat probably over 5,000 calories a day easily. Just for breakfast, I usually eat 1,500 calories. And that's just for breakfast.
And didn't you tell me before the show half of them came from the dumpster? I'm just kidding.
You could go to food. You could go to stores that have food, and
really,
dumpster diving for food is called freegan. That's what it's called. Yeah, you're dumpster diving for food. And I know a lot of people that do dumpster dive for food, and they get a lot of stuff. And
like, I wouldn't mind doing it for like cereals and stuff like that.
A lot of people get like cereals, candy bars. Like my one friend, Sergeant Cannabinoid, he has a YouTube channel, and he gets so much stuff. He last time I met up with him, he lives like an hour and a half away from me. He bring me a huge box of vegan cookies and Kind bars and juice and everything, and it's all like, most of it's not even expired yet.
So you never know what you're gonna find when you're dumpster diving, or Fragan, right? Fragan, is that what it's called? Freegan. Okay, cool. Hey, man, Marcus. Well, it's been a good time. It's been very, very educational. I've learned a lot. There's a lot of people saying love the content, learned a lot. So for everyone watching right now, if you enjoyed this video, I want you to do 2 things. One, I want you to hit the like button right now. Show some love. Let Marcus and I know that we did a good job. He's giving a thumbs up right now. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Even if, you don't have a question, just say hello so we know you're watching. I know there's 94 people out there. So there's about 60 or 70 people who are hiding. We know you're there and we're watching you. No, I'm just kidding. But it's been a lot of fun, guys. Hit the like button. Secondly, make sure to go over to Marcus's YouTube channel. That's going to be youtube.com/Dumpster Marcus.
Yep.
Is that it? Or you can just search him, Dumpster Marcus, on YouTube. Go over there, subscribe. How many subscribers are you up to now, Marcus?
I think it's right now I'm 5,136.
Wow, he is on point, man. He knows it. So if you guys join and we get 60-something people, we'll be up to, no, I'm just kidding. But go subscribe, check him out. He's got a lot of good content. He's been around the block for a while. He's been on YouTube for almost 5 years. So, he's got a proven track record, and he really enjoys helping people. So check him out. Marcus, any final words, man? We appreciate you coming on.
If you do have any questions, go to my YouTube channel. If you watch any videos, just comment below. I answer everybody's comment that they comment. So You can ask any questions. Send me a personal message if you have questions on anything. I usually get personal messages on my Facebook account, people asking about dumpster diving and other things. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, Beam, all under Dumpster Marcus, one word. So just hit me up, or if you have any questions, just ask. I'll try my best to answer them.
Awesome. Well, it's been a ton of fun. Want to thank you one last time, Marcus, for coming on the Raiken Profit YouTube channel. Again, if you guys enjoyed this, hit the like button. I'm trying to do a live hangout with a new guest each and every week. So if you have any suggestions for people that you'd like to learn from, or people you'd like me to bring on the show to be able to interact with, leave a comment below and give me some suggestions. But again, guys, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you taking an hour of your time to come hang out with us. And be sure to check out Dumpster Marcus on YouTube, and we will see you guys in the next video. Take care.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks, everyone.